There were two protests earlier today at 11 a.m. By the time you see this video, it would have been yesterday. Let's get into it, yo, and let's talk about how crazy all of this is. There was one for Austin Metcalf and there was one for Carmelo Anthony. Austin Metcalf's was interesting, to say the least. Carmelo Anthony's was equally as interesting, though it was not exactly the same thing as the Austin Metcalf protest. That's how I'm describing them: Carmelo Anthony's and Austin Metcalf's protest. I have not been able to find out who orchestrated Carmelo Anthony's protest. We have that information about Austin Metcalf's protest. Meet Jake Lang, a January 6er who is one of those dudes. Just to say the least, he's one of those guys. He stormed the Capitol building because President Trump said that the election was rigged back in 2020. January 6th was stupid. I don't care what anybody thinks. It was dumb. Anyways, watch this video.
Hi, I'm Laverne Spicer, and I'm here with Jake Lake, and we're here to support the protests that will be taking place in
Frisco, Texas.
on Saturday.
Yes.
And we would like for everyone to come out and join us as we protest in unity, And we have a peaceful protest.
He had his token black woman friend who looked like she didn't know what was going on. She sounded like the most unsure person on this planet. Anyways, here's the flyer. Protect white Americans. Justin for Austin Metcalf. Demand Carmelo Anthony be put back in prison until trial. Peaceful protest. April 19th at 11 a.m. Central Time in Frisco, Texas at Cooking-Daw Stadium. That is a new location. They had another flyer out as well, but they changed the location. Stop Black Violence on White Americans. Protect White Americans, PWA, was founded by January 6th political prisoner and U.S. Senate candidate Jake Lang. What a loser. Here's Carmelo Anthony's flyer. Rally in support of Carmelo Anthony. Peaceful rally showing solidarity for our young black child. Drop the charges. Charge Hunter Metcalf. That is the twin of Austin Metcalf. I believe that when Carmelo's mother was speaking in the press conference, she did say both of the boys, or she didn't say this. She was alluding to both of the boys being involved in, the situation where Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin. People are taking this as hers, like giving some information saying that both of the boys were involved and it wasn't just specifically Carmelo Anthony versus Austin Metcalf. A few blocks from Cooking-Daw Stadium, 6950 Stadium Lane, Frisco, Texas, 75033. Saturday, April 19th at 11 a.m. Now that sounds like a horrible idea. Two opposing teams having protests at the same time. Black versus white is what it seems to be looking like. Just sounds like a horrible idea and nothing good is to come from it. Rest assured, the outcome and people in attendance, the numbers, almost pathetic. To be completely honest, I'm so happy the turnout was what it was, yo. It was genuinely laughable. Let's get into the protest for Austin Metcalf because we have the most information on that one. For both of these, I do not believe either family was involved in it, and these were just put together by supporters, quote unquote. Now, like I said, Jake Lang is the one who organized the protest for Austin Metcalf. January 6er, obviously a big MAGA dude. Everybody knows the type. Dude's infatuated with the preservation of the white race. He definitely thinks that white people are being oppressed, obviously. And he decided to organize this protest. Hopefully you've heard of Jason Whitlock. I am not a fan of that sloppy dude whatsoever, but he did a really good thing. And he was able to confirm for us that Austin Metcalf's family was not involved in putting this protest together.
I have been in contact with and have talked to people in the Austin Metcalf family. Have you asked anyone in the Austin Metcalf family, father, brother, mother, aunt, uncle, cousin, is this what they want? Do they want a protest? Do they think your protest will help them get justice?
So, no, I have not spoken to anybody in Austin Metcalf's family, and there has been a culture of oppression on white people in America to truly speak how they feel and say, I'm sure in the heart of hearts, Austin Metcalf's father, after being kicked out and embarrassed yesterday in front of the world, he was just there to simply, be a part of the grieving process of his son, see what the murderer and his family and the PR people, he was embarrassed yesterday. He couldn't even be present at something that has affected his life drastically. He was trespassed and removed by the police yesterday, like trash thrown out on the side of the street. And these are the type of topics that have been the white people in America have been pushed out of being able to feel like they can express themselves. That's why Derek Chauvin is in prison right now.
To me, the solution is alliance through Christ, and that we should be coming together as servants of Jesus Christ, and that's the solution. It's a little concerning for me as it relates to the Metcalf family, and particularly the dad's reaction is to kind of smear it or say, hey, he doesn't want to do this or that. I'm taking him at his word that he's a true believer and that he's trying to deny himself and follow the instructions that are given in the Bible and given from God of deny yourself and I will deliver justice to you. And so I think his father is leaning into God and trying to let God handle this.
I got to give you credit, Jason. Thank you so much. Because honestly, how the heck is you going to speak for somebody that you've never spoken to a day in your life? So there was a protest. Attendance was laughable. I'll get a picture and put it up here. I'm not putting any clips of it up, but just know hardly anybody showed up to this thing. Like seriously, nobody showed up. Eventually, somebody who actually knows Austin Metcalf's father put him on the phone with Jake Lang, and there was an exchange of words. It was very, very quick, but it was very, very clear that Austin Metcalf's dad, Jeff Metcalf, wanted nothing to do with this protest and whatever they were trying to push. You would not believe what the protesters said about Jeff Metcalf and his son.
Austin Metcalf is no longer Austin Metcalf. He is a symbol. He is a symbol of young white people being predatorized and victimized every single day, living in fear. He is living in fear. Our people in this country are living in fear. Austin Metcalf is no longer just a son.
Jeff, hold on, Jeff. Do me one favor, because there seems to be an issue that you're okay with Austin's name being plastered with this particular movement. Now, I've already addressed that. So now I want you to say one more time that do you agree with your son's name and face being attached to this movement?
Hey, Jeff Metcalf, this is Jake Lang here. I wanted to talk to you and not be led into a question. This is an illegal argument. It's called leading.
Do you agree with your son?
Can I have a conversation with you?
No, because you could have called him before that. You could have called him out of respect.
Reaching out. I'm one of the biggest figures in
So
America.
Jeff,
Nobody's ever
I've given your message.
I've
given you your message, and here's the response.
Family members, everybody I could
I've
find.
given you your message, and here's the response.
You're not giving my
this
message.
guy
You're
said
giving your message.
What he said was this. What he said was this. He said that you, as a father, should be on the bus with him, delivering the message that he's delivering. Unfortunately, he's not a father, and the gentleman with is not a father. Maybe they don't understand what loss is. But at the end of the day, I've given your message, and they thought that it wasn't your message.
Let me have 1 minute of my message
Call
to Jeff
him.
Metcalf.
Call him.
Okay, what's his number?
But he's on the phone right now.
So Jeff, do you,
This is not a good faith discussion.
Okay, hold on. Here's Jeff. Hold on. So Jeff, go ahead. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, Jeff, it's Jake Lang here. Jeff, first of all, my entire heart rests in your hands. I would be in my position, not even as somebody even knew your son, but somebody that shares the same understanding. I grew up as a 17-year-old young white man too, and I grew up in fear of my life around black people because they were killing and robbing people around me all the time. And I don't understand, as I was a father, you could sit idly by and not condemn the culture that killed your son. There is an epidemic problem in this country, and your voice could be one of the loudest voices in this country, but you've chosen to recoil out of fear and continue the suppression. Why will you not stand with me and with the rest of the people? We're not calling for racial divide. We're not calling for hatred. We're saying 350,000 attacks on white people by black people a year in this country is wrong. Why can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can.
would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today.
Are you done?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, my turn to speak. You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk.
My son, let me finish. I gave you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir. You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
You are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn your son's killer and the culture that caused it.
Hey, Jeff.
That's the problem. You've been submitted.
Hold on, hey, Jeff.
You've been submitted.
I'll handle it from here.
You are part of the fucking problem. I dig Jeff Metcalf, bruh. He's a real stand-up dude. He stands on his principle. He is unwavering. You gotta respect him for that. You got to. He said he had no interest in bridging the gap between the racial divide and to take his son off of the website. These people have no care in the world about Austin Metcalf or his family. They just get their rocks off to pushing these narratives and really just, they want to use this as an opportunity to say what they have on their mind. He called it white guilt. I didn't make it about race. This fucking protest did. So I don't want to hear nobody talking about you are pushing racial narratives. It wasn't me. This whole idea that white people are under attack, this whole idea that white people are being oppressed. Shut up, bruh. Like, honestly, shut up. White guilt does not exist. It is not a real thing. Now, do I think there are white people out there trying to compensate from all of the injustices done to black people and people of other ethnic groups? Definitely. I wouldn't call that white guilt. I would call that an acknowledgement of history. Shut up. Jake Lang is an idiot for even trying to hijack Austin Metcalf's name and use it to push his rhetoric and his narrative. I don't know what he was thinking. Nobody cares about January 6th or you being there. You sound stupid. Please stop it. Y'all want to know something funny? He actually hopped over the fence to get into the stadium, which he was not allowed into, and he recorded himself doing it, saying he was breaking into the stadium, committing a crime, you thug, you criminal. Stop the bullshit. And he called himself trying to film a blood stain where Metcalf, was either stabbed or where he dropped. And the whole time, it ain't even the spot where it happened.
Stadium, there's the blood stain. There is the blood stain. It's red still. Austin Metcalf's blood. Lord Jesus, help us. It's crying out for justice. His killer is home right now. I got to get out of here before the police come. I just hopped the fence to get in here. His blood is crying out for justice. We need that killer behind bars. We will not rest. We need to protect white Americans. This scourge of black violence is too much. Kendall Stadium. We need to uplift our communities. I gotta get out of here, guys. I think I hear the cops coming.
You freaking idiot. Frisco ISD seeking charges against man who said he broke into high school stadium. A school district official said a video by Jake Lang, a U.S. Senate hopeful from Florida and founder of Project White Americans, was taken on the opposite side of the stadium from where the fatal track meet stabbing occurred. You dummy. Boy, ain't no way. Okay, guys. Smooth brain, bruh. I really cannot stand stuff like this, but when it's this fucking funny, I'm not mad. I'm just laughing. You guys see all that. We can all admit it was dumb, yo. He's strictly trying to push a racial divide. He will say anything. He will pull anything out of his ass in order to get his freaking narrative out. Anybody in support of Protect White Americans or whatever organization and movement it is, how do y'all feel knowing that the founder is this much of an idiot? Do you feel comfortable supporting him? And don't bring up BLM and them lesbian women who was taking donations and using it to go on vacations and buy mansions and all that stuff. This is about you. What do you have to say about this? He used Austin Metcalf without the family's approval, and he straight lied about what happened at the school, the blood stain I was there, just so he can get his rocks off and say everything that he's been wanting to say his whole life. PWA is completely irrelevant, and they were trying to gain relevancy with this situation, and it failed horribly. Now this retard got charges against him, and Jeff Metcalf chewed his ass out. What now? Now, apparently 2 people were arrested at the Protect White Americans protest. There were little arguments that ensued, little scuffles, but nothing too crazy. For the most part, both protests were pretty peaceful, mostly because nobody showed up, but 2 people were arrested, yo. We have confirmation that Jake Lang did not have approval from the Metcalf family to be having this protest. I would not be surprised if the same thing happened when it comes to Carmelo Anthony's protest and them saying get Hunter Metcalf. But if there was no approval from any of the families, why do y'all feel comfortable organizing these protests? Stop trying to make Austin Metcalf a martyr. Stop trying to get Hunter Metcalf indicted. You don't know what happened still. If it does come to that point ever, it'll be because substantial evidence has been looked through, investigated, and released. Fortunately, you have no say in that. Y'all need to just sit back, relax, and let this play out the way that it is supposed to. I just wanted to show y'all that it is a great thing that the turnouts were what they were and nobody showed up to these stupid events, yo. Let me know what you think about all this. I'm still on the side of nobody. You could say I'm playing a fence, but all of you that are choosing sides are looking stupid. I'm so sorry to tell you. It will come down to murder, most likely 2nd degree, or self-defense, possibly manslaughter. And I'm sticking to that. Look up videos regarding the protests and go watch the full ones for yourself. It is honestly comical the way that this whole thing played out. And yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with some more soon.